Welcome, student of the soul. You are not here by accident. I will not waste your time with pleasantries, because time is already what you feel slipping through your hands. You are here because you procrastinate, because you delay what you know must be done, and you suffer in the silence of your own postponements. So let us begin immediately. Procrastination is nothing but a thief that enters your house each day, steals your strength, and convinces you that tomorrow is the day to begin. But tomorrow is an illusion. You cannot touch it, you cannot stand on it, you cannot live in it. You only ever breathe this present moment, this very heartbeat. And here is the first truth I give you. If you learn to hold the present moment in your hands like a flame, you will begin to burn away procrastination. We will go step by step, each step like a stone across a river, carrying you from delay to decisive action. And I will not merely tell you to be disciplined, for such words are empty unless we fill them with life. I will show you the inner mechanics of why you delay, how to face the storms of resistance, and how to command your soul with clarity. But be warned, what you are about to hear may sting, because Stoic wisdom does not flatter. It strips you of excuses until you are left naked before truth. Now listen carefully. The first step to overcoming procrastination is to call it by its real name, fear. You do not delay because you are lazy. No human being wakes up longing to waste their life. You delay because the task before you appears heavier than your strength, or because your mind whispers that your efforts may not succeed, or because you fear the judgment of others if you fail. Procrastination is not mere laziness. It is fear, disguised as comfort. And so the Stoic voice speaks to you. Face your fear directly, and it will shrink. Turn your back to it, and it grows monstrous. When you sit at your desk and open the page, and yet your hand does not write, what has paralyzed you is not the page itself. The paper is innocent. What has trapped you is the thought that your work must be perfect, that it must be flawless, that it must be great before it even exists. But listen, greatness is not created in a single act. Even Marcus Aurelius, when he wrote his Meditations, did not sit down to write a masterpiece. He wrote notes to himself, scattered thoughts, private reminders. What you admire today as wisdom was yesterday the simple attempt of a man to guide his own mind. So remember this: action first, judgment later. Do you feel the weight of delay upon you? Notice the pattern. You postpone. You feel relief for a moment, then guilt returns heavier, pressing on your chest. This cycle is poison. The Stoic remedy is simple. Stop seeking relief through avoidance, and instead seek relief through action. One line written, one small task done, one breath of courage. This is relief that builds strength instead of weakness. Now, let us practice the second step. Do not look at the mountain of your tasks, for it will overwhelm you. Break it into the smallest stone, and lift that first. The Stoics taught, do not live all of life at once, live only the present duty. Say to yourself, today my task is not to conquer the entire battle, but to take the next single step with excellence. When Epictetus spoke to his students, he did not demand they master all philosophy in a day. He said, master this moment, this choice, this response. So you too must master the single small act, for it is the seed of victory. Perhaps you are listening now and still thinking, but my motivation is weak, my will is faint. Then hear this truth. Motivation is the fickle wind, but discipline is the steady oar. Do not wait for the wind. Pick up the oar and row. How do you row? By creating rituals, not waiting for feelings. Rise at a set hour. Sit at your place. Begin your task not when you feel like it, but because it is time. The sun does not ask if it feels motivated to rise, it simply rises. The river does not ask if it wishes to flow, it simply flows. And you, child of reason, must do the same. Do not misunderstand. Discipline is not harshness against yourself. It is love for yourself. It is the gentle hand that guides you away from wasting your life in trivialities and sets your eyes on what truly matters. Every time you conquer procrastination, you are not merely finishing a task. You are shaping your soul into one who is reliable, capable, and free. But I must tell you, the third step is harder. It is to look at your mortality. You procrastinate because you believe there will always be more time. You think tomorrow will be there, waiting, endless, patient. But the Stoics remind you, tomorrow is not promised. Seneca wrote, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Every hour you waste is life you cannot reclaim. Let this not frighten you, but awaken you. When you understand that life is brief, procrastination, it becomes absurd. Why delay living? Why delay becoming who you are meant to be? Imagine this. If today were your last day, would you still scroll endlessly? Would you still postpone the letter you need to write? the work you need to complete, the dream you keep delaying. No, you would act now, so live each day as though it may be your last, because one day you will be correct. This urgency is not anxiety, it's clarity. Now let me speak directly to your heart. You are not weak, you are not broken beyond repair, you are not doomed to a life of delay. You are capable of focus, of strength, of clear action. The Stoics believe that reason is the divine gift in each human, and it is reason that allows you to rule over impulses and fears. Within you is a fire, buried perhaps under layers of hesitation, but it still burns, and each small act of discipline fans it into flame. So the steps so far are clear. Step 1. See procrastination as fear, not laziness. Step 2. Take the smallest action, not the whole mountain. Step 3. Remember your mortality, and let urgency awaken you. But this is only the beginning. In the next part, we will speak of deeper resistance, the inner enemy that thrives on distraction, the tricks your mind plays to keep you comfortable, and the way to command your attention like a Stoic warrior. You will learn not only how to begin, but how to continue without faltering. If these words are stirring something in you, do not keep it to yourself. Comment below what step you will begin with today, for speaking it aloud strengthens your resolve. And if you wish to walk further with this wisdom, subscribe to this channel, for here we let the ancient voices live again and guide us through modern struggles. Share this message with one other person who battles procrastination, for together, we grow stronger. Now breathe, student of the soul. The work is before you, the time is now, the choice is yours. You have taken the first steps, student of reason. You have begun to see procrastination not as laziness, but as fear. You have learned to shrink the mountain into a stone, to act on the smallest part, and you have faced mortality, awakening, urgency within your heart. But the battle is not over. For procrastination does not surrender easily, it disguises itself. It returns in new forms. It seduces you with sweet distractions. Now we must speak of the inner enemy, the subtle trickster, of the mind that keeps you from living fully. Listen well. The enemy of your soul is not the task before you, nor the weight of your responsibilities. The enemy is your restless mind that runs from stillness. You think you avoid work because it is difficult, but often you avoid it because it demands your full presence. And presence feels heavy when you are accustomed to distraction. The modern world has sharpened this enemy into a powerful force. The buzzing device in your pocket, the endless stream of images and words, the constant beckoning of trivial entertainment, these are the soldiers of distraction. They whisper, just for a moment, just a quick glance, just one more scroll, and you surrender minutes, then hours, then days. Marcus Aurelius warned himself, do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your neighbors, unless with a view to some mutual benefit. If he lived in your time, he would say, do not waste your life scrolling endlessly through the lives of others, unless it makes you wiser or more virtuous. So the fourth step in overcoming procrastination is this: cut off the sources of trivial distraction. You cannot expect to win against procrastination if you arm your enemy with endless weapons. You must guard your attention as a soldier guards his shield. Do this exercise. Before you begin your work, put your device away, not beside you, but out of sight. Clear your desk of clutter. Close every door that allows the enemy of distraction to enter. And when the urge comes to wander, remind yourself, this urge is the chain of a slave, but I am born to be free. For what is freedom? Not to do whatever you please, but to command yourself with reason. The one who cannot sit in silence and work with focus is not free, but chained to every impulse. Step 5 is to master your attention as a Stoic warrior masters his sword. Attention is your most valuable possession. Where your attention goes, your life goes. Procrastination steals your attention, scattering it across 100 trivialities so that nothing receives the fullness of your power. The Stoics taught concentration not by fancy techniques, but by deep presence. When you eat, eat. When you walk, walk. When you write, write. Do not live half in the task and half in wandering thoughts. Tell yourself this one thing is enough. This one act, done well, is victory. But perhaps you say, my attention is weak, it drifts before I even notice. Then hear this truth. Attention is a muscle. It grows stronger by deliberate practice. At first you will sit to work and your mind will run like an untrained horse. Do not despair. Gently bring it back, again and again, as one guides a horse back to the path. In time, the horse grows obedient. So too will your mind learn obedience. If you train it daily, Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. Neither is attention. But each day of practice builds the fortress of focus within you. And when that fortress is strong, procrastination cannot breach it. Now, we must speak of step 6, which may be the most difficult. Endure discomfort. Much of procrastination comes from a simple habit: you flee from discomfort. The moment a task feels dull, or difficult, or uncertain, you retreat into easier pleasures. But the Stoic way is to embrace discomfort as training for the soul. Think of a soldier who only trains in perfect weather. What will he do when the storm comes? He will collapse. But the soldier who trains in cold and heat, in rain and hardship, becomes unbreakable. So you too must train by enduring discomfort. When you feel the urge to escape your task because it is hard, pause, do not run. Say to yourself, this discomfort is my training ground. I will endure it, and in enduring, I grow stronger. Each minute of discomfort you face without fleeing is a victory greater than comfort could ever give you. Do not misunderstand me. I do not tell you to torture yourself, but to see discomfort not as an enemy but as a teacher. For every great act of creation, every masterpiece, every invention, every triumph was born out of discomfort. The Stoics would say, the obstacle is the way. And procrastination feeds on your belief that discomfort must be avoided. Destroy this belief, and procrastination withers. Now step 7. Define clearly what you are working for. Another reason you delay is because your purpose is vague. You say, I should work, but you do not remember why. The Stoics always return to purpose. Marcus Aurelius rose each morning and reminded himself, I must rise to do the work of a human being. What is the work of a human being? To use reason, to contribute, to live with virtue. So you too must remind yourself, what is the purpose of my task? If you are studying, remind yourself, I study to grow in wisdom, to prepare my mind for service. If you are working, remind yourself, I work to build, to create, to provide, to fulfill my role. If you are pursuing a dream, remind yourself, I do this because life is brief, and I must bring forth a gift within me before I return to dust. When purpose is clear, procrastination weakens. When purpose is forgotten, procrastination thrives. So each day, before you begin, write down in a single sentence, I am doing this because. Read it aloud. Let it burn into your mind. Then begin now. Pause for a moment. Feel what we have gathered so far. Step 4. Cut off distractions. Step 5. Master your attention. Step 6. Endure discomfort. Step 7. Define your purpose. Already you see the path, forming a path, not of tricks or hacks, but of inner strength, clarity, and reason. But there is more. Procrastination has one final refuge. It hides in your emotions. It whispers, I don't feel like it. I am not in the mood. My energy is low. And many surrender here. They believe emotions rule them. But the Stoics taught that while emotions may arise like storms, reason is the captain of the ship. If you wait to act until you feel like it, you will be a slave all your life. You must act because it is right, not because it feels pleasant. This is step 8. Act independent of mood. When you rise in the morning, you may not feel like working. But say to yourself, as Marcus did, I rise to do the work of a human being. When you sit at your desk and the task feels heavy, say, it matters not how I feel, but that I act according to reason. This is true freedom, to act according to principle, not impulse. And here I will leave you with a cliffhanger. We have spoken of fear, of breaking tasks small, of mortality, of distraction, of attention, of discomfort, of purpose, and of rising above mood. But in the next part, we will strike at the deepest root of procrastination itself, the battle between your higher self and your lower self, the war within the soul. You will learn how to unify your will, how to command your days with clarity, and how to live so that procrastination is not merely resisted, but destroyed at its root. If these teachings are stirring something inside you, I ask you to strengthen your resolve by declaring it. Write in the comments one truth that struck you today. Speak it, and you bind yourself closer to action. If you wish to continue walking with the Stoics in this modern life, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with one who struggles. For wisdom grows stronger when it is shared. Remember, you are capable of clarity, you are capable of strength, you are capable of rising above delay. You are not born to waste your days in hesitation. You were born to act, to build, to live with virtue. Now breathe, student of reason. The path is before you, the time is now. The choice is yours. Student of the soul, you have walked far with me. You have learned to name procrastination as fear, to act in small steps, to awaken urgency through mortality. You have learned to guard your attention, to endure discomfort, to clarify your purpose, and to rise above the sway of moods. But still, You may feel that procrastination waits in the shadows, ready to return. This is because we have not yet struck at its deepest root. Now we must enter the inner battlefield, the war between your higher self and your lower self. Hear me clearly. Within you live two selves. One is noble, rational, clear, the higher self that seeks virtue, purpose, and right action. The other is base, fearful, indulgent, the lower self that seeks comfort, avoidance, and fleeting pleasure. Every moment of your life is a contest between these two selves. Procrastination is simply the lower self winning the battle. Step 9, then, is this: identify which self is speaking. When you feel the urge to delay, pause and ask, who speaks now? Is this my higher self or my lower? The lower self whispers, do it later, rest a little more, you deserve comfort. The higher self commands, rise, act, do what is in accordance with reason and virtue. And once you see the voice clearly, you cannot pretend they are equal. You must choose, will you obey the slave or the sovereign? Step 10 is to strengthen your higher self through daily reflection. The Stoics practiced this each morning and evening. In the morning they asked, what is my duty today? What virtues must I embody in the evening? They asked, what did I do well? Where did I falter? How can I improve tomorrow? This is not mere journaling, it is sharpening the sword of the higher self. Each day of reflection makes the higher self stronger until its voice is firm and unshakable. And procrastination, which thrives in the fog of forgetfulness, withers under the light of constant reflection. Step 11. Embody identity, not just action. Do not merely say, I will try to work today. Say, I am one who acts without delay. I am one who honors time. I am one who does what must be done. The Stoics did not speak of trying, they spoke of being. They said, do not argue about what a good man should be one so too. Do not argue with yourself endlessly about productivity. Be the kind of person who acts. When identity becomes clear, action follows naturally. Now step 12. Perhaps the most liberating: accept imperfection. Many procrastinate because they fear their work will not be flawless. But Stoicism teaches that perfection is not required, only excellence in the present moment. Excellence means doing the best you can with what you have, here and now. If you write a page, write it imperfectly, but write it imperfectly, not endless hesitation. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote imperfectly. His meditations are scattered notes, not polished essays. Yet 2,000 years later, his imperfect effort still guides the world. So let go of the illusion of perfection. Better an imperfect act today than a perfect act postponed forever. Step 13. Create a philosophy of time. The Stoics believed time is the most precious resource, far more valuable than gold. Seneca warned, people are frugal in guarding their property, but not in guarding their time. Yet it is the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. You procrastinate because you treat time as if it were infinite. But when you see each hour as a coin from a limited purse, you spend it carefully. So build this habit. Before you begin your day, ask yourself, how will I spend these coins of time? Will I first trade them for distraction or for creation? When time is seen as treasure, procrastination becomes theft, and you will no longer tolerate it. Step 14. Use obstacles as fuel. Sometimes you procrastinate because the task feels blocked, difficult, or confusing. The Stoic way is not to flee from obstacles, but to turn them into opportunities. Marcus said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So when you face confusion, do not delay the confusion itself as the first task. Say, my task now is not to finish everything, but to clarify the first step. When you face difficulty, say, my task is not to avoid it, but to grow through it. Every obstacle becomes fuel, and procrastination has no refuge left. Now we come to step 15. Align your life with virtue. The Stoics taught that procrastination often arises because you live without a clear compass. When you pursue only external rewards, wealth, praise, comfort, you hesitate, because these things do not deeply satisfy. But when you align your actions with virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, your actions become meaningful in themselves. Then procrastination loses its grip, for you are no longer working for empty prizes, but for the cultivation of your very soul. Ask yourself, is my task today aligned with wisdom? Does it make me wiser, or does it scatter my mind? Is it aligned with courage? Does it face fear, or avoid it? Is it aligned with justice? Does it contribute to others, or only serve shallow self-interests? Is it aligned with temperance? Does it discipline me, or does it indulge me? When your work aligns with virtue, you find strength to act. for virtue calls the soul to rise. And now, student, we arrive at the final step, step 16, the crowning truth. Live as if each act were your last. This was the heart of Stoic practice. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Procrastination dies when you live with this awareness. For if this hour were your last, would you spend it in delay? If this day were your last, would you hide from your duty? No, you would act, you would live fully. You would pour your soul into the task before you. So why not live this way always? Why not treat each action as your final offering to the world? Then procrastination vanishes, and every act becomes sacred. Let me speak to your heart once more. You are not a prisoner of procrastination. You are not condemned to endless delay. You are a human being, capable of reason, capable of focus, capable of action. The Stoics believed that within you lies a spark of the divine, the power to rise above fear, above distraction, above weakness. That spark is still alive. It only waits for you to act. So now, gather all the steps. See procrastination as fear. Shrink the mountain into a stone. Awaken urgency through mortality. Cut off distractions. Master your attention. Endure discomfort. Define your purpose. Act independent of mood. Identify the higher and lower selves. Strengthen your higher self. Through reflection, embody identity, not just action. Accept imperfection. Guard time as treasure. Use obstacles as fuel. Align work with virtue. And live each act as if it were your last. This is the Stoic path to overcoming procrastination. Not a trick, not a shortcut, but a way of life. If you walk it daily, procrastination will lose its power, and you will live with clarity, strength, and freedom. Now I ask you, student of reason, choose one step today. Do not delay, do not say, tomorrow. Choose one, act on it now, and feel the flame within you grow. Tell me in the comments which step you will practice, and let your words become a vow. Subscribe to this channel if you wish to keep walking with the Stoics, if you wish to let their ancient wisdom guide you through the storms of modern life, and share this video with one soul who needs to hear it, for wisdom grows brighter when it is passed on. Remember, time is brief, life is precious, action is freedom. You were not born to postpone your destiny, you were born to live it, so breathe. Student of the soul, the path is clear, the time is now, the choice is yours.